What should be on your juice bar menu and why? Today, we're going to go into a high level overview on menu philosophy, the way you want to strategize categories, thinking about your menu, and so much more detail. But before we dive in, if you guys are new to this channel, you don't know who I am. My name is Andrew McFarland. I've been in the juice industry for over 15 years at this point, had my own juice businesses, as well as helped hundreds of people all around the world launch and scale successful juice bar concepts, smoothie bar concepts, acai bowl businesses, and more. All the information on this channel is coming from this wealth of experience. Now, let's dive in. So you're thinking about putting a menu together and you want to understand really how to approach it, how to think about it. And the first thing that I'll say is it's definitely going to depend on where you're at with respect to your model. I know a lot of people that watch this channel are doing everything from selling products from a commercial kitchen, from home, from a juice truck, from a storefront. A lot of what I'm going to share is going to be related to a storefront, but with regards to where you're at, if you do not have the production facility of a storefront and the demand of a storefront, keep your operations and your products simple. Just stick to beverages to start until you really get that production flow down, and then you can expand it. Okay, so first, let's start by talking about juices. The biggest thing with juices is that you're going to want to have a good amount of color variety because it's great visually, it's captivating. So think about the colors of your juices. And naturally, when you have different colors, most of the time, the flavors should also be different. Now, there's going to be a spectrum. Think about the rainbow. Okay, some might be similar, but some might not be as close. So think about also the variety of customers you might have. When you're thinking about your menu, you really have to understand the psychology of your demographics. This is what we call psychographics. In different markets, you're going to have customers and consumers who are more or less savvy. If you're in a market like Los Angeles, New York, you're going to have pretty savvy customers, people who want everything from, yes, your sweet juices, but everybody also, there's going to be people who might want more bitter juices, green juices, things that are sour. They don't want just the sweet. So having and offering that variety. And something that I've said in another video, which I just want to caveat or put a placeholder in so you guys understand, is realize you are not your only customer. You as an individual has to be able to put yourself in the mind frame of other people. And this is why I also suggest getting other people to try your products as you're developing them, because you're not going to be your palate, the way you taste things, the way you like things. You're not the only person that's buying your products. You're going to have a lot of different kinds of customers, and they're going to like a lot of different kinds of things. So the first thing to think about is that think about variety. Think about variety in terms of color, variety in terms of flavors. The other thing that I will say as far as menus go is you have forever to complicate your life and your menu and your business. Start simple, okay? This is why I would say in terms of the colors, you would probably want to have a minimum of 6 juices, 6 to 8, maybe 10, but even 10 these days feels like it's pushing it. 6 to 8, because that will give you a nice foundation, a nice amount of variety, and in terms of flavors and in terms of colors. The next thing that you want to look at, obviously, which is most common, is smoothies. There are some of you who might just be doing smoothies. You might not be doing juices, and that's okay too. I think between the two, categorically, there's more, and from my observation and experience, there's more demand for smoothies because smoothies are a meal replacement, and a customer doesn't have to really think about, do I go here and get food and a juice, or over here? It makes their life a lot simpler. It's quick, it's on the go. People don't have to use a fork to eat, so they just get the calories that they're looking for in a beverage form. Same thing here. I suggest thinking about your color palette, having interesting colors. In some areas where you can use activated charcoal and you can make the smoothies black. You can use blue spirulina, make the smoothies blue. Pitaya powder, make the smoothies bright pink. Strawberry, blueberry. Think about the rainbow, right? Green. What are the colors? Orange, tropical, right? Because this visually for your images, it's going to show variety and people are going to resonate with certain color tones. What else do you want to think about with your menu? Now, this is something that, this could be controversial. Some people relate to and don't relate to, but coffee, okay? Some people sell coffee because they're like, hey, our customers are going to buy coffee anyway. Some people don't. For me personally, I don't drink coffee. In most of my businesses, we don't sell coffee. Am I hard line opposed to coffee? No, not in particular, but you have to decide for you, do you want to be this kind of business? Because as I've said in other videos, remember now, and this relates to your menu, the juice bar business as a category, even though juice is in the name, it's sort of like the product is in the name if it was like Salad Stop as a business. But the juice bar categorically has really evolved into the wellness quick service cafe. People do expect you to have more than just juice, which is why it's evolved into a place where people are selling acai and smoothie bowls, coffee, salads, wraps, wellness shots. The list goes on and on. But the reason it's really a juice bar is because it's beverage focused. The juices and the smoothies tend to be the most prominent aspects that people are walking into that business for. And so you don't organize your operations and your brand and everything around the food as much, even though it might be something that you sell. So the other thing too with a menu that I always like to share is you will have an idea of what your customers want, but you're not going to know for sure. And your menu is going to evolve. So you want to be able to listen to the sales, listen to what people are asking for, listen to what people are buying, and allow your menu to evolve in that direction. I think one of the testaments of a successful business in this arena, one of the most important things is how much they learn from feedback, what's the information that they're getting, and then how the business adapts as it relates to that feedback. So we've had clients who've came and maybe they had 3 smoothie bowls on their menu, and then they realized, oh my God, almost all of our sales are smoothie bowls. All right, I guess we're a smoothie bowl business. Let's start making more smoothie bowls. Let's kind of pare down the juice, pare down the smoothies. Other clients who were like, oh, we're selling some Buddha bowls and people really, really like these products. Okay, great. You know, you have to go with what your customers are telling you that they want. So listen to them. And this is also why philosophically as a menu, it's good to have simple and variety. So when I say simple and variety means if you do decide to make things like Buddha bowls, maybe 2, maybe 3, salad, same thing, 2, maybe 3, wraps, maybe 1, maybe 2, right? Have enough variety so you could start to see it's like you're testing, you're experimenting. So think about your menu more in that way. Don't be so committed. Make sure your recipes are good. Obviously, make sure you got good profit margins on them, but don't be so attached to your recipes. When you look at your menu and you see what people are buying and not buying, ask yourself this primary question: why? Because sometimes with products, the reason people aren't buying is because of the name. Sometimes it's not described well enough. Some people haven't tried it to taste it to see it actually tastes good. So you might need to give samples out. Or sometimes maybe just people aren't into it and you have to accept that. Okay. So as the menu evolves, reduce the waste and the things that people aren't buying, and then double down on the things that people are buying. Okay. So we've gone through juices, we've gone through smoothies, we've talked a little bit about coffee and whether that's right for you. Now looking at things like smoothie bowls. I would say in this category, 3 to 5 is a good starting number, but start simpler, maybe 3. Okay. Variety of color, once again. The acai tends to be very popular. So going with acai, going with something that might be, if you could do a charcoal, if you could do a blue spirulina, or if you decide to go green or you got to go chocolate, think about the colors, contrast. Okay. And then moving on from smoothie bowls, what do you have? We got things like wellness shots. Wellness shots are great products because there's great margins on wellness shots, and people tend to want to avoid getting sick. And it's something that they can build into their daily routine. It's a very low price point item, right? People can spend $2, $3 on a wellness shot. They don't really feel it. It's sort of like an upsell. And you can use it as a vehicle to sell more and more wellness shots, doing 2-shot packages, 3-shot packages, and so forth. Moving on, as I kind of alluded to before, seeing things like salads. I'm a fan, okay? Decide with what's in the context of your brand, 2 to 3 maximum, okay? The next thing, going into things like maybe you make paninis, okay? You need a panini press. Same thing, 2 is probably enough, okay? Next thing, moving on, looking at things like wraps. The other thing about these is you want to be aware of my suggestion usually with these kinds of things is don't make them to order. Unless you have a bigger place and people are sitting down a lot, maybe you do that at that point. But I would say generally keep them in a fridge, keep them in a grab and go for people to pick up and go. Keep the sauces on the side so things don't get soggy. And there is an art to designing recipes that are going to be shelf stable for a very long time. When it comes to designing recipes, it is one of the most critical art forms because you have to think about your cost, you have to think about your taste and flavor profile, you have to think about the visual aspect, and you think about shelf life, okay? So there's a lot to consider. sizes, ratios, the way that everything is getting made from a production standpoint, simplicity of inventory, your menu is one of the most critical things. So if you do need help with developing your menu, our team does that and so much more. Reach out to me personally at Andrew@StartAJuiceBar.com. We can discuss how we can help you with your menu. But this is a high-level overview, okay? The main categories of what you want to think about. There might be other small things that you guys introduce, snack items that you guys might make. Like I said, your menu is going to evolve. But think about what your core offerings are. Keep it simple, but also have the sense of variety, okay, for your customers, your clients. Keep your inventory tight as well. Understand what your base ingredients are, what the things are that are going to color and flavor your products. And just really, really think through this because it's one of the most important things as a foundation. But also remember, like I said, it is going to evolve. So don't do too much too soon. You got to train your staff. You got to have your production systems down. Simplicity is key. Okay, that's the message for today. When it comes to menu philosophy, what you want to think about with your menu, there's much, much more, but this is going to give you a high-level overview to hopefully point you in the right direction. Andrew McFarland here. If you guys aren't subscribed, you definitely want to subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any videos like this. Also, we're on Instagram at StartAJuiceBar. And then lastly, we have a podcast on Spotify and on iTunes. It's called the Juice Bar Experts Podcast. That's all we have for today. Sending you guys my love. I'll see you at the next video.
Hope you guys have been enjoying the video content. If you're inspired to learn even more about how to start your juice business from scratch, for you, we have a free ebook. It's called the 15 Steps to Starting Your Juice Business. And this is going to go through a high-level overview, through a step-by-step process on how you get your business off the ground. Everything from branding, menu development, finding the right location, and more. This is going to be a clear roadmap so you know how to go from where you are all the way to opening your store. If you want to go even deeper, we've also created an online course. It's called the Juice Bar Master Blueprint. This is going to go into great depth on everything from how do you put together and think about recipe development? How do you cost out your menu and what's the math around it? What equipment do you need? How do you design your store? How do you find the right location? And so much more. I know you're going to find a lot of value out of both of these. There's links in the description below. So I hope to see you guys at the next video and enjoy.